Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. In previous videos, I printed off the very first test cube. That was my first print. The next couple of prints didn't go too well, but we won't talk about those. And then I printed the test cube again in black and also white PLA. Now, when I ordered my filament, I actually ordered a separate reel of transparent TPU. Now, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure at the time exactly what I'd use this for, but I just thought it'd be interesting to create a 3D print in something transparent and plastic, or sorry, TPU, flexible plastic. So I thought what I'd do, again, really as a consistency check, but also as a check to see the difference in printing with TPU against PLA. Basically, I'd print the test cube again. So I have no idea how this is going to come out, but I thought it'd be an interesting experiment nevertheless. So one of the things that we notice about this particular filament is that it definitely is much more flexible. And it appears that the printing temperature is somewhere between 200 to 240. Now, I believe the test cube is set to 200. So we'll see how it goes with this. And it's all part of the experimentation, really, and it's all part of trying to find out how things turn out and what happens with different types of settings, really. So if we don't find out, or if we don't try it, we won't know. So I'm just going to take the end off here, just because that's a little bit kinked and bent, so we get rid of that. So now what I need to do is I need to load the filament into the filament roller at the top. So that's nicely in place, and then we feed the filament in through the filament run-out sensor. Now that's a little bit thick. I'm just wondering if it's the end that's stopping me from getting through, or it might be a slight angle or something. So I'm just going to twist the filament slightly just to try and feed that through. Okay, interesting. So that's quite tight. I don't know, because it's still 1.75mm filament, so it should still go through the run-out sensor as far as I'm aware, and the end doesn't feel as though it's kinked in any way. There we go. So I think I just needed to move it over to slightly to one side for some reason. Now, one of the things I notice about this filament is that it's kinked in lots of places, as you can see there. Or we probably see it's slightly kinked, but it does seem to be kinked all the way across the reel. So that must be just a natural part of the filament's flexibility. So what we need to do is we need to, before I put it into the print head, we need to go into change and then get the print head up to temperature. So let's just have a closer look at the machine. So we need to go to set, no, to keep getting that wrong, tools, change, and then we need to go to in. So what this is going to do is it's going to heat up the nozzle, so we just wait until it reaches 200 degrees centigrade. Now, in a previous video, I actually heated up the nozzle. In fact, it was my first print with the original grey PLA test cube. I actually heated up the nozzle prior to going into loading or change, and that actually saved me time, because I did that first and then I unboxed the filament and then put it in place. So it doesn't matter either way, really. So you could get the nozzle up to temperature and then load it, or you can do it this way and just wait for it to get up to temperature. So 186, And there we go. So heat complete, please load filament to extruder and click confirm for start loading. Now, one of the things that I've got wrong previously is not pushing in the filament far enough. So what we need to do is put the filament into the hole, push it down until it won't go any further, and then pull this lever back, and then you can feel the filament go a bit further, and then you just push it a bit further until it kind of won't go any further, because it's kind of solid in that position, and that is kind of biting, or this lever then bites the filament, which then should pull it through. So hopefully this should work. There we go. So that's loading okay. We can see it pulling through. And now we can see the previous black plastic coming through. And then we can also then see the clear filament coming through as well. So that's brilliant. So that's loaded successfully. Just pull that out there. Right, so we can confirm that's okay. And then basically go straight in with printing the test cube. So if we go to print, and again, I'm just going to use the original settings here. So it's 200 degrees for the filament print head, and I think it's 80 degrees for the base. That might be a little bit too hot for TPU, but again, it's all part of this experimentation and seeing what works. So let's try, and again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh hang on, what did that say? That said no files. Print. There we go, cube. Must have been in the wrong folder. So again, what we'll do is when I start this printing, I'll actually record a time-lapse video, and then we can actually see the results as it starts printing, and hopefully this will come out okay. Let's see. So I'm just going to click confirm, and then we'll see what happens. So here we are. The cube has printed, and it's and I can feel, just by touching it, I can feel the flexibility in the plastic, and it's coming away quite easily, which is nice. I've let the bed cool down, and we can actually see here that the print time was 29 minutes 21 seconds, which probably ties in with about the same time as the other cubes. So here we are. So we've got our grey cube, we've got our white cube, we've got a few strings of molten plastic there, we've got our black cube, and now we've got our transparent cube. So again, I'll break this plastic off another time just to make sure I get it all off. But yeah, there we go. So it's come out really well again. So it's so even though it was just the same settings as the previous cube, I didn't need to change anything, even though this is TPU, not PLA. And it's, you know, whereas these cubes are very solid and very dense, which you would expect for PLA because it's hard, this is lighter, and also it's got this flexibility as well. So I can imagine this would be really handy for some things, especially things that need a little bit of give or flexibility. But again, it's just absolute superb print, very, very smooth all the way around, the bottom, the top, the sides, and a little bit of when you touch it, you can still feel just a little bit of roughness around the edges, but certainly nothing to cause a problem. I mean, that's just fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with the quality. So there you go, my first print in TPU. Thank you very much for watching.